The idea that Ukraine's war is a civil war is less promoted today. It's still promoted by some Russian nationalists as a kind of a civil war between different branches of different parts of this so-called pan-Russian people. But it was certainly promoted after 2014 by Western pro-Russian academics, as well as, of course, the Kremlin. This was never a civil war, but sadly, even now, only just a year or so ago, a new book published by Dominic Carrel and his colleague, Professor Dresko, talks about this as a civil war. So even the Chair of Ukrainian Studies at the University of Ottawa, surprisingly not condemned by the Canadian Ukrainian Congress, by the way. Why are they so quiet about this disinformation being on their doorstep in Ottawa? This kind of mythology that this was a civil war is simply untrue. My academic colleague Serhei Kudelia and myself and others have pointed out this was never the case. Russia was involved in Ukraine throughout the Yanukovych presidency from 2010 onwards, sabotaging the Ukrainian security services and the Ukrainian army, and was on the ground in Ukraine from day one of the Euromaidan revolution, and was involved in transforming protesters in Donetsk into armed insurgents already in the spring of 2014. There's a great PBS documentary about Ukraine published in or released in May of 2014 called Battleground Ukraine, which is focused on Kharkiv in the spring of that year. And these pro-Russian thugs openly admit that they were trained and paid by Russian intelligence services. So I'm sorry, Dominic Carrel, you are completely wrong about this question. And I again refer to why is the Canadian Ukrainian community so quiet about this disinformation on its own doorstep.